And tonight, the Iranians have taken their aggression against the U.S. to another level. Fox News has learned that just a few days ago, an American drone flying over international waters was fired upon by Iranian guns. Now, this is the first time that this has ever happened. Now, listen to what the Defense Department press secretary said about the incident earlier today.
I can confirm that on November 1st, at approximately 4:50 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, an unarmed, unmanned MQ-1 U.S. military aircraft conducting routine surveillance over the Arabian Gulf was intercepted by Iranian Su-25 Frogfoot aircraft and was fired upon with guns. The incident occurred over international waters, approximately 16 nautical miles off the Iranian coastline. The MQ-1 was not hit and returned to its base safely. We have briefed relevant members of Congress on the incident.
Now, the timing of this disclosure by the Pentagon is raising serious questions like, why are we only learning about this incident today? Is this just another story of the White House trying to squash things before voters headed to the polls earlier this week? Now, the spokesman was asked about this as well. Watch.
It's going to come up here that the White House might have asked you to muzzle this incident because before the election. Did the White House give you any guidance in terms of whether to release the information on the incident or not?
I think I've said this at least 2, 3, 4, 5 times now. We don't typically comment on classified surveillance missions, and I'm not going to get into discussions at the classified level that occurred between this department and the White House. They were informed early on.
Joining me now with reaction, the author of the #1 New York Times bestseller, Culture of Corruption, Michelle Malkin, is with us. Oh, November 1st, 5 days before the election. We still don't know where the president was on the night that our consulate was attacked in Libya, in Benghazi. What do you think about this? They did just happen to reveal it now.
Yeah, well, it's par for the course for the most transparent administration ever. Thursday, November 1st, 4:50 in the morning, our Predator drone was fired at by these 2 Iranian jets, and it doesn't come out until after the election. Yeah, it stinks in here, but this has always been the Obama way. You know, they accused the Republicans incessantly of voter suppression, but these people have been responsible for massive, collective, systemic truth suppression. And it's not just the White House that has to answer for this, but the lapdogs in the media. I would like to know, were there any outlets that were informed of this and then told to keep it quiet, the same way we know that many journalists were apprised of Benghazi and kept quiet about it to serve this campaign's needs before the election? Again, people's blood should be boiling. I think we just have to redouble our efforts to try and shed sunlight on these matters.
I mean, we've got 4 dead Americans in Libya, and we don't know what the president knew. Did he know that they had requested security before? Where was he when this was happening? Did he know? Was he told that this was being watched by Charlene Lamb in real time? The president got through nearly 3 months in this election process without having to answer any. There were 2 months without having to answer any of these questions.
That's right. And let's say it louder, because it's the cynical elevation of their political self-interest above the national interest over and over and over again. I mean, and we talk about Benghazi. We've got some more hearings coming up on that. Thank goodness we've got watchdogs in Capitol Hill that will not rest on behalf of these murdered Americans. The Senate committee is going to be having a hearing on November 15. And all we're going to hear about is the whining from the Democrats about how it's Republicans who are politicizing national security when it's their dirty, corrupt, bloody M.O.
All right, so what do Republicans do here? And, you know, if there was a cover-up, do you think they have the gumption to get to the bottom of Benghazi? You know, what's the president going to do here? 4 Americans killed. What if we find out now that, in fact, the president knew and the president lied to the American people, as I believe he did? Look, if the State Department watched it in real time, our intelligence community knew that Libya was an attack within 24 hours. There's no way the president didn't know that. And in multiple interviews, including 60 Minutes and Joy Behar on The View and others, he said he didn't know. What if we find out that the president of the United States lied heading into this election?
Well, there are many constitutional provisions for recourse on this, and I think that they have to be contemplated. I also think that there needs to be grassroots nationwide pressure. One of the things that I found so heartening before Election Day is that we had ordinary citizens who were capable of informing themselves and getting to the truth and the facts about what's happening in conjunction with these investigators that we have on Capitol Hill that continue to push. And this administration and this candidate and this president was forced to see signs from people reminding them that they will not forget the 7 hours of hell that the murdered Americans went through before they perished in Benghazi. And it's the same thing with the Camp Bastion attack, which I've raised questions about on behalf of murdered Marines in that case, and the lack of security, questions about rules of engagement that have been compromised by this politically correct jihadi coddling administration.
All right, Michelle Malkin, we're going to continue to stay on this. Demand answers. We'll get them, hopefully, eventually. We'll do the media's job. Thanks for being with us.
You bet.